Welcome to the Noble 2-3 podcast. All right, man. Welcome to the podcast.
We live?
We're live.
Nice.
We're doing it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Cheers.
Cheers, my friend.
To Justin.
To Justin and Amber, yes. And Jacob.
Absolutely. So for those that don't know, I had mentioned Justin on the first podcast episode, and Justin was a dear friend of both of ours, and him and his wife were murdered in their own home, November 18th, 2021, and still a pretty sensitive subject to a lot of us, and I thought it would be cool to have.
Sorry.
It's all good. Just silence it for next time.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Building a house. You know how it goes.
There you go.
Sorry.
But yeah, so our friend Justin and his wife Amber are gone, but their son Jacob's still around, and just thought it'd be cool to talk about him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep him alive.
Absolutely.
So,
where do you want to start?
Oof. I don't know, man.
I'm nervous, dude.
I am too.
I've been nervous since you've asked me to do this, and I think it's definitely beneficial for me and probably you. I'm speaking for you, for us to talk about it, and the only people I have to talk about it is people at the station, and Tori too, my wife. But
yeah, same with Des here, and
it's still like people at my station weren't as close as me and you were to them, so like they kind of get it, they kind of understand we have that brotherhood, but
at some point it's kind of like, oh, you're beating a dead horse.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Well,
yeah, it's just it's tough, man. Times waves of emotion come over you, and sometimes you can, control the tears, and sometimes you can't. And I've learned as the time has gone on that you just embrace them, the tears, and think about the good times that you had, and all that we're doing with the foundation we set up for Jacob. And
elaborate on that.
So we started, me, David Miller, and R.C. Vaughn are all on the board for Jacob's Pathway Foundation. We started a nonprofit. We're an official 501c3. That's to take care of Jacob's financial needs as he grows up. So Jacob's 3. We're going to pretty much take care of him until he's an adult and figures out what he wants to do, and then at some point we'll give him a big chunk of money if he doesn't spend it for college or other living expenses as he gets older. So just something that you've been there the whole path too, since we started it, and the group of friends that Justin had, and even the people that aren't on the board have done a lot to help and been there to support us, and it's going well. We've raised a lot of money, and the department has done a lot at the beginning to help us, and they still are helping us along the way. We started that, I want to call it a direct deposit, but essentially just pulls out of your check at our department to go into our foundation, and that's something that we're going to try to expand on as we go, start getting into the recruit schools. We need to come up with some sort of presentation or whatever, something quick, just to, here's how we can help our brother, his legacy, and help his son, and really show that, this is a brotherhood type thing. So
I think it would also help too with the whole fact that the training center now has those road signs.
Yeah, absolutely.
With their names on it now.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Give a little bit more story to.
You got Jacobs Avenue and Hicks Way and all that. I mean, no one to this day still, as far as I know, knows who came up with that idea. That day we were down there. Do what now?
Great idea, though.
Yeah, it was. They when they dedicated it, they had the ceremony down there at the training center. They even said it there, like, we're sorry, but we don't remember who had this idea, but it's a great idea, and we implemented it right away. And being up there with Mr. Boggs, Amber's dad, Mark Boggs, up there in the ladder truck, me and David with the reveal of the signs was just a very special moment, and happy to be a part of it. And I'm glad that it's going to be a part of Justin and Amber's legacy for as long as that training center's alive.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. It's cool to every time you go out there you see it, and then they're starting to go through the command at the address.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we were at the training center all day yesterday doing the blue card stuff, and you're hearing it on the radio every single time. It never gets old. So it's good stuff. But I appreciate you letting me throw these puns in here for our foundation. Excuse me. That we finally come up with a date, May 20th, for our second annual Jacobs Pathway Foundation Cornhole Tournament.
Nice.
So the first one was a huge success. A lot of work. None of us RC's had a little he's had a little experience in doing stuff like that, but me and David, it was a whole new realm of setting up a fundraiser, especially a large cornhole tournament like we had, which, like I said, was a huge success, and a lot of people donated for the raffle. And the second annual is in May, same place, Reformation Brewery in Canton, cornhole tournament. We got Cornhole Atlanta helping us out. I don't know, many people probably don't really remember Brett Kelly, but his dad Dwight's helping us out with that. He's a competitive cornhole player, and he's going to help us set that up. And got other people like Brian Thomas. He's a DJ. He's going to be doing the DJ for us. So it's
he did it last year too.
Yeah, and they're going to be naming a beer for Justin again. Last year we did the Eagle Bear. I'm not sure if we're going to do that one again. It seems appropriate to me, but they're going to donate a portion of each one of the beers sold to the foundation, and it's going to be great.
Just keeping the memory alive.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. So we're working on a flyer and just getting the stuff together to where we can start getting it out. That was our biggest problem last time, was just getting it out to people. So with our PIO at the department, he's going to help us get it out a little better than last time and get it out on the social medias and all that jazz.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
And then just another forum here for that small audience.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, it'll grow, I'm sure.
Hopefully.
I've enjoyed listening to what you've had going so far.
Thank you.
Everything that you like, I pretty much like too. Outdoors and, America and fire department and hoorah, it's pretty cool, man.
Awesome. Where were you when you found out, though?
Oh, man, here we go. Yeah, dude, I remember all this.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so actually...
it's not like a 9/11 day. It's
absolutely.
You remember every aspect of it.
Absolutely, man. I could walk you through the whole thing, it was in days after that, it's like... I actually started... I have a little landscaping business on the side of the fire department, probably like half the other people that are firemen. And
we've all done landscaping.
Yes, exactly. I've done it since I was little and just never got away from it. So I was actually at a job right down the street from Justin's neighborhood, starting a new one, clearing it out, getting ready to get going on it. And I was out there, I don't even remember when I got the call. It was late morning, I believe. But the funny thing was, I had my parents out there too. They were just helping me, do some stuff and get ready to start this job, throwing trash away and whatnot, and because they lived right down the street, and so they came and helped me. And I got a phone call from Justin's brother, Mike. I was like, that's weird. Why is Mike calling me, And I didn't really think much about it because, I've done a lot of family activities with Justin and Amber between birthdays and his wedding and, just hanging out with him and his family, Honestly, I don't know why I didn't pick it up, but I just kept working. I was like, I'll call him back in a minute. I had my hands full. And I got another call from Nick Durham. And me and Nick been pretty close for many years. And I picked up the phone, and he said, did you hear about Justin? I said, what are you talking about? He said, they found him dead. They found him and Amber dead. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, they found them in their house dead. I was like, what are you talking? Like, I was just like, what do you mean? What do you mean what do you mean they're dead?
Yeah, I was the same way.
And then I start like running through my head, the fire department runs through my head, on the hazmat team, like, well, was it a CO leak? Like, did they not just wake up, and tells you how long I've been at 21, right? Just go straight to the hazmat thinking, I'm like, had to have been a CO leak or something, they just fell asleep, never woke up. And Nick was like, I don't know, dude. I don't know what happened. There was an email that came out. So I don't even really remember the conversation with Nick. The only reason I remember to tell you now was what we had a conversation afterward, like, hey, man, I'm sorry. Nick was like, hey, I'm sorry you had to hear it from me. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I didn't even remember that I talked to him, And I called Mike back, Justin's brother, and he picked up and was like, yeah, man, he's dead. Like, he was pretty calm. His brother was. And I was like, dude, I was already just a freaking disaster, just pouring tears. And he was like, they think there was foul play involved. Dad went over there and saw a broken window, and that's pretty much all he could tell me. Then, and oh man, I got off the phone with him, dude, and I just, I'm a very religious person, and like, I've never done this before, but I just looked up at God and was like, why? Why?
Yeah.
Why him? And it's rough, dude. So I called the homeowner and was like, hey, I got to go. I've had a, family emergency. I'm sorry, I can't be here, And they're like, oh yeah, no problem. Just let us know when you come back. And I don't even remember where I went. Like, I got in the truck and I just started driving, and I called my wife and told her, and she was, obviously distraught as well. And I think I went home, and which was like an hour away. So I finally got home, and Tori was like, you want me to come pick you up? No, I'll make it. And that night they did, was it the Reformation thing that evening? Yeah. So met up, went to the Reformation thing, dude, and I just got plastered. I mean, I was just obliterated. And Tori ended up taking me home at like 8:30. I
think I might have left before you got there.
Did you go to the Canton one?
Oh, no.
Yeah, y'all are at Woodstock. Yeah, I went to the Canton. I didn't even know y'all were at the Woodstock one.
Yeah, it was just like small groups.
Yeah, but we went to the Canton one because the 575 Fools was just kind of putting something together for everybody and that wanted to come. And then Tori obviously took me home, and then we it's kind of a joke, kind of, with it's a sick joke, but we're all a little sick in our own way. But
the dark humor.
Yes. So on the way home from Reformation, I had to work the next day, and I obviously wasn't going to make it. So I called my captain at the time, or he's still my captain, but I called him and was like, hey man, I'm on the teletime and I'm trying to figure out how to call out, but I just can't figure it out. I don't know how to do this. He's like, don't worry, bud, I got you. So he, he called out for me, I guess. And we did that debriefing or whatever at 23 the next morning, which was, I'd never been a part of anything like that. And it was super helpful, I feel like. Short and to the point, but it was nice being there with other loved ones of Justin. And
yeah, I missed that one.
Oh, did you?
I called out too.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was up in Blue Ridge, and
oh yeah.
They're like, hey, we're gonna do the CSID, and critical incident stress debrief, and I was just kind of like wrapped up in my own emotions of like,
oh sure.
It was kind of selfish too on my part, but I was like, I'm not driving an hour and a half just to go down there for a couple minutes just to come back, and I just kind of wallowed in my own.
Yeah.
We were up in Blue Ridge at the time, and I had to take my dog Cora down to a vet appointment. She had like blown out her knee, and I think we were like doing like a pre-op kind of thing, making sure everything was ready to go. And I remember just like sitting in my car because this is like just height of COVID and like, oh, you can't come in. You got to. So I'm like, all right, well, here's my dog and I'll just chill out in the parking lot. And I was doing something, just killing time. It was probably Instagram or YouTube, something like that. And I can't remember if he called or texted, but it was Nick Leslie. He's like, you hear about Justin, the email? I'm like, no. And
yeah,
told me. And my first thought was to call Tim.
Yeah.
Tim had swung by, I think it was 32 one day. And we just ended up like shooting the shit for like 2 hours outside of the station, just talking. And really cool guy, and just kind of connected pretty quickly. And
oh yeah.
He gave me his number. He's like, hey man, if you ever need to talk about anything, just give me a holler.
Sure.
And I was like, yeah, absolutely, cool. So I had his number, and he was just a wreck.
Yeah, he still is.
He's like, the thing that broke my heart was, do you know if Justin has any enemies? And I was like, no. Like, absolutely not. Like, Justin's just like, for anybody that knew him, like he was a freaking teddy bear. He was just like the nicest guy ever. I mean, he, like anybody, he's got anger. Get mad over certain things, but I mean, it's anybody.
Yep.
But yeah, like I got off the phone with him and I just kind of sat there.
Yeah.
I was like, I was holding it in pretty well. Like I was getting like teary eyed, but like I wasn't like full on crying yet. And I was just like, what the? And I just kind of didn't know what was going on. And then the vet place called me, and I was like, okay, I gotta go. I kind of like walked away from my car, just to kind of like pace back and forth in a parking lot. And finally picked her up, and I called up Isaiah, and I asked him if he had knew, and he said he had just found out, and we're like, let's go to Reformation.
Yeah.
So he was leaving early, so I still had the dog with me, so I was like, all right, I'm just gonna call Des, let her know what I'm gonna do. And I'm still maintaining like composure. Like, second I heard her voice,
oh yeah,
it was just like the floodgates open. I was like ugly crying.
Oh yeah,
just bawling, and I'm driving down 92, and I'm just like, I could barely like see out of my eyes because I'm crying so hard. I had to like pull into Target, and I'm just like sitting in the Target parking lot. Like I had to put it in park, and I'm just like, breaking down.
Oh yeah.
And I told her what we were gonna do, and then we ended up going to Reformation for a while, and all the beer started stacking up as like the memorial. Did Canton do the same thing? Nice.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, there was a whole bunch of them next to him. Yep.
It was cool.
Yeah, man, it's still crazy. Like it's been a year and a half, close to now. Like still doesn't seem like, I still feel like I want to call him up from time to time, and little about me and Justin's relationship, if I can. He started at 21 on B shift, and he was a big dude, and Chief Wilkins come in, and we're like, well, Chief, what are we getting? Because he was down at the recruit ceremony. Like, y'all getting Justin Hicks, in his Chief Wilkins voice, and we're like, oh, cool. Is he a good one? He's like, yeah, he's a big boy, but he's got a big old heart, and that was 100% true. Big dude, big heart, and man, he worked hard and, got after it every day, and I was able to swoop in and pick him up for landscaping, and me and him literally worked every day together. We were either on shift or, back then I was pretty in depth with my little business, and me and him would go out and cut grass or do install jobs or whatever every day. We weren't on shift. The only times we didn't see each other was on the weekends that we weren't on shift, and then on top of that, we would still go, fishing together and frisbee golfing or whatever, and he was one of those people to me that was like a brother plus some, like we enjoyed each other's company. We had very similar interests. We truly loved each other. And, it's just a bond that was deeper than, I could say for a lot of people, and And it's a friendship that doesn't come around very often, and
Totally agree.
and it's just heartbreaking. Still is, But I remember his funeral, which was awesome. His Hands Church did an amazing job, and everybody stepping up to the plate with finding them a grave site. And I think a couple of the Chiefs uppers even went ahead and bought the grave sites and out of their own pocket, and
I heard that.
just a lot of cool things went down. But on the way to the funeral from Cumming, was where I was living at the time, Tim texted me and was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to stand up there today and give a speech, or what is it, eulogy? Is that the right term?
Eulogy.
Yeah. So he's like, would you do it for me? And I'm like, oh, really? Like, I felt honored that he would ask me to do that, but I was a wreck too, So I typed up something I got Tori to drive, and I typed up something on the way down there, and I think it went well, and
it did.
And y'all standing behind me, I thought was pretty cool. Just another aspect of the brotherhood,
Yeah.
It's I feel like ever since that event, and leading after that event, and like our upper echelon changing, I couldn't say that I could feel the brotherhood in the fire department, but like nowadays I can see it.
There has been a definitive change.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't say that for everyone, but I can see a difference.
Oh yeah.
And for the better, obviously. And but yeah, man. I mean, I got plenty of stories and memories. It's just, where do you even begin?
Yeah.
So
kind of touching on the funeral and everything, I remember the viewing, and like you go in there and I paid my respects, and the church, how it's set up, like it had like a V alleyway or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you come down one, and dude, I just went out the other one, and I got ambushed by Tim.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, it was good, and we talked, and like we hugged it out, and then I just like continued into the darkness, into like that other little like hallway room, and I just like stood there, like just like I went down to like my knees and just kind of like fetal position, and just like sat there. And
Wow.
It was rough, and when I finally kind of like collected myself, I'm like walking back out, and I think you and Little were coming in with his gear.
Okay.
And Little like passed off the boots and pants to me, and I was like, I gotta go back in. But it was cool setting up his gear one last time.
Yeah.
But yeah, the funeral was awesome.
Yeah.
Just to see like
there's like 1,000 people there, I think is what I heard.
But then it was like Cobb County engines were like they were covering our stations, so that way like we could all be there, and like just that was like the movie worthy like brotherhood that like I'd always like seen and been told about, but never really saw.
Yep.
It was like so cool to see the extent of it.
Yeah. I mean, all of it, like the fire truck procession, and the queue and the air horns, and
it was awesome.
It was, man. Yeah, I at the viewing, I mean, it took me a while. So like I got there pretty early. They got us all dressed up in the level I don't even know what those things are called.
Class B's?
The fancy ones. I was going to say Class A.
The A's.
Hey.
Did you have the jacket on?
Yeah.
The jacket?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not an officer, but they decked me out with one, and I thought it was a level A, but I was like, no, that's hazmat again.
Yeah, the Class A is when I think he put on the jacket.
Yeah.
He's like without the jacket.
Yeah. So we got there early, got dressed in the back. And then like I remember like just being up front in the mezzanine, like talking to people for a while, and then like I worked my way into the doors, like where he actually was. And it's a huge area.
Yeah.
And I just could have stood there and talked for a while. Like I just slowly inched my way to where like I found myself in line. to go pay my respects as well. And like I'll never forget that feeling. Like my heart was just like pounding out of my chest, like more nervous than I've ever been in my life because I still didn't want to believe it.
I didn't either.
Like there's no way this is actually really happening, And then I got down there and saw that stupid little mustache on his face, dude. Oh man, that was great. That was great, dude.
No Shave November. He still had his crappy mustache.
Yeah, they left it on him, man. He's going to the grave with it. Oh man, yeah. But they both looked really good. They did a good job with them and carrying that casket, that big old Joker, dude.
It was heavy.
It was heavy. I was like, don't drop it. Don't drop it. The casket
alone is probably like a couple 100 pounds, and then Justin's a big dude.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And trying to like walk in line while off balanced, holding.
Yes, because it was on that hill or whatever. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Rough.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, everything went as well as it could have, I guess, for the situation, which is good. You can't ask for any more than that, I guess.
No.
But
you really can't?
No.
I mean, it was a like perfect funeral, if you can even call it that. Like, I mean, just Hollywood textbook firefighter funeral. Just like, this is the situation sucks, but you're just like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Did you like when you got hired? Did they have like all that paperwork you fill out? Like I remember when I got hired. I don't think I dreamed this up, but like when we got hired, there was like you could check certain things you wanted if you like died in the line of duty.
I have no idea.
So, and they're like, some of those on there were like, do you want to be on the back of a fire truck or whatever?
Oh.
And I was like, this is pretty cool. Heck yeah, I do, But
I don't remember that.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I didn't dream that up, but.
There's a lot of stuff going on in those couple of days of like new hire
yes.
orientation.
Well, everything changes too. Like our department changes their way they do things, it seems like every couple of years. So who knows? I don't remember.
Yeah, we were around the kitchen table the other night, and Miller was like, "Dude, I found an old video of Justin," and I was like, "What?" He's like, "You remember when we went over to RC's house?" And he's like, "I bet you I can punch through a watermelon."
Did he do it?
No. But Miller's got him on video, and he's just like, he's lining up his fists, and he's like doing it all wrong to where like
he's hitting those knuckles.
The bad knuckles
yeah.
Up. And I'm like, no, you got to punch like this, and he just he's just wailing on this thing, and it really just looks like he's like close-fisted smacking it, not even punching it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't do it.
I can't do it. Oh man.
But it was just so cool. It's like hanging around that kitchen table, the fire table, and just sharing one more extra memory that we had all kind of forgotten about.
Yep.
And it was just like we all just died laughing again. It was just so funny just watching that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
His stupid face just like
oh yeah. Yeah, when he proposed to Amber at Station 21 and I put his jacket on. Like even at the station or when we were landscaping, people would always mix us up because we were similar statures and, big guys. And I wore his jacket and he was like, hey, Amber, come to the station and watch us do a training drill or whatever, So she come up and I climbed up the ladder and he had this banner made. We had it all pre-set up, We practiced on it before she came and we all gave him a hard time for it, but it was a pretty cool proposal. But I climbed to the top and I dropped that banner and it got all freaking hung up. And I'm like, oh crap! So like I fixed it real quick and it ended up working out. And then she's like looking up, staring at it, and then she realizes what's going on, and then Justin come walking around the truck, got down on one knee or whatever, and it was pretty cool, but. I always gave him a hard time. I'm like, I'm the one that actually dropped the banner and asked the question. So she was all, she said yes to me, and just always giving each other hard times. Fun,
Were you there for the gender reveal?
Yeah, when they sprayed the blue water or whatever. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
I think I took off. that day and just come down there and watched it, or the day half or whatever. But yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, he was like fist up in the air. He was so proud. He's like,
I'm having a boy. Yeah. Yeah, man, Justin, I mean, didn't matter what we did, like we'd work out or whatever at the station, and like pull-ups, wasn't very good at a pull-up or a bench press, but he could throw you around if you wanted to. Like he was just a big man. If he got mad or got into it, he could move some dang weight around, and I lost my train of thought.
Speaking of like throwing weight around and everything, like the whole eagle bearer thing.
Yes.
We had done a contest one day. I don't know who had it, but the challenge ended up being how many times you could flip this telephone pole.
Oh yeah. Perfect challenge for me.
And yes.
Whose idea was that?
I'm pretty sure it was his.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
So it's me, Miller, Hicks, and Max Post.
Yeah.
We all started doing it, and I want to say, like, we got about 5 in. Miller bows out. He goes, I got a bad shoulder. He goes, I'm not even going any further.
Yeah,
I think I did 1 or 2 more just to up him.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, I'm done. And then it was just Max and Justin back and forth.
Yep.
Max finally bowed out, and Justin did like 2 more just to like, I think ended off at 20. And like jaw dropped. Like,
that's
holy
awesome.
Holy crap, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he just kept moving that thing around, and I'm like, I'm going to end up getting like Looney Tunes, like pinned in, just like drop my arm and just get that hammered into the ground.
Yeah. We have this, the hill behind 21. We call it either Jawbo Hill, or because he's the one that made it, or 53.
He made the hill.
Yeah, he did. Or 50.
Legend says.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's a hill, and then like they've gone up it so many times pulling the tire that it's like created a course up there, and or we call it 53 Hill because it's sucks so bad you want to 53 yourself. But anyway, Paul Faulkner, when he was working with us at 21, Paul's in very good shape, loved to work out. Paul and Justin, we did a big gear workout as we usually did, and one of the circuits was dragging, it's like a 35-inch mud tire or something, up the hill around the big pine tree and back down the hill. Well, Justin and Paul got in like a competition, like who would finally stop, right? And Paul was egging it on, like, you better not beat me, because he was still pretty new, Justin was. And dude, he started turning like pale white, and it started getting dark, and he wouldn't give up. But when it was his turn, that final time, he had the tire, and he just carried it all the way back to the training tower and like put it away underneath the training tower. It usually stays by the hill, but he carried it all the way across the parking lot and put it away like, we're done. And dude, that was just funny, He didn't give up, but he put it away. It was no longer done. We had the belt at 21. We didn't have the Eagle. We had the belt that Alec had bought, and we'd do competitions like that too, you know. Fun times, man. Like, I
mean, we modeled ours after yours.
Yeah.
We were like, well, we can't have the belt.
Yeah.
So we were like, all right, we got to come up with some kind of trophy. And of course, Justin being the king of Goodwill.
Yes.
And it's just like, oh, look what I found. And he just comes back with like random things all the time from Goodwill.
Yep.
Comes back with his ceramic eagle with like wings outstretched like mama bird over a nest with like little babies. And I was like, all right, I'll buy like a can of metallic gold paint.
Yeah,
and we'll
paint
make
that
this,
sucker.
Yeah, we'll make this thing into something, and it became like the Golden Eagle.
Yeah, that's great.
And it was like, for our shift, it was like coveted.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, the belt was for us too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it built like so much like crew camaraderie.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
absolutely.
It was great.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. Like, yeah, I got another story about the belt here in a second, but that like brings me to think about like the camaraderie, like, dude, I don't want to complain at all, but like, it's just every day is something that needs to be done right then and there. Go to the training center, it's just like, and then by the time you're done with all the stuff that people have put on you for the day or covering for other people, like, it's 9:00 at night, everyone's tired, and like, the working out and the the playing games to, build the camaraderie. Most of the time those games were PT related, which was what we should be doing, know. But like now it's like the engine doesn't get back till late. So it's just 3 of us on the truck, and we got other stuff we got to do with all the trucks in the station. And it's like, or whatever busy work we got to do for the day. It's like we're missing that camaraderie. And I've brought it up multiple times. I mean, there's your occasional days now that, that we actually squeeze in some sort of frisbee or, soccer, or actually work out together or whatever, which is nice, but it's just not what it used to be. Like, we would train, work out, play some games, and the day was ours back in the day, like
run your calls.
Yeah, run your calls, do your chore of the day or whatever. But it's just always a lot to be done in that. And we're missing that competition between us that's building the camaraderie. And I mean, I hope I'm making sense, but it's just, it sucks that it's what it's turned into. But, it just is what it is, I guess. And we're the days we can find the time to build as a team, we will. But, we got 7 assigned there now, and it's like we still only run with 5 most of the time. So we'll see.
Permanent floaters.
Yeah, exactly. And I know their department's trying to get the minimums up and hire people, and maybe we'll get there sooner rather than later. But those were good times, man. I really miss all that, We've talked about getting another belt, or we were just talking about that a couple shifts ago.
Alec took it, right?
Yeah, he took it. Well, he won it. The last shift he was at 21 before he got moved to 23. So we told him if he didn't win it, he had to keep it there, but he won it and then took it with him. So we're gonna find another idol to worship up there, I guess.
Idols, false idols. Yeah. He had like 2 hanging up at his bunk.
Yeah.
In 23, I'm like, when the second one?
Dude, you name it. We had like unicycle, which was like the demise of my shoulder, like the start of the ripstick that destroyed my shoulder on shift, But we did all kinds of stuff, like water balloon launchers, shooting them over the stations. We'd have like big bullseyes on the other side of the station that we had to hit. Like,
what was that story with Justin? Like he got like nailed?
Yeah, I was leading up to that one. So we did all kinds of things. Like we would try to kick the football into the windows of the training tower, like as a competition. They would be like different point systems or whatever. So
like skee ball.
Yeah. So then it turned into, let's shoot water balloons into it, And then it turned into, Justin, go stand in the doorway and see if we can hit you. So he went and stood in the doorway and bent over, with his butt facing us. And I don't remember who launched the water balloon. I don't remember who it was. But all of us were standing there. It was like me, Alec, Weasel, Josh Warren. I don't remember who else was on our shift then, but we're all a part of this training. And
crew building. Yeah,
crew building. And that water balloon gets launched, and it's just like the perfect trajectory, Like
you just
we're like, oh no way that's gonna hit him, and it gets closer and closer, and we're all like, no way, and then it just nails him right in the butt, and it didn't explode. That freaking water balloon just like warped on his butt and then fell and popped. And dude, all of us just hit the ground rolling, laughing, including Justin. And it just, dude, that was hilarious. That was a good story to remember. We talked about that one every day. Yeah. Yep.
I remember this time Justin wanted to get a haircut on shift.
Like by somebody there, or like go to a place and get a haircut?
Go get a haircut. But RC was like, I could do it. Yeah. Oh my God. He started.
He was so picky about his hair too, dude.
That was the best part about it.
Yes.
He was so picky about it. So Justin's like sitting there, and he's got like the little towel like wrapped around him, and he's like sitting in the bay, and we're just egging him on. And RC was like doing a fine job, and but it had gotten to a point where it's like it was that in between phase where like you layer it up and everything. Like you ever get a haircut, sometimes you're like, what the hell? You get? Oh, okay. And then he gets finished, and you're like, oh, all right, now it looks good. But that in between phase, it looked like the worst bowl cut you've ever seen. We have a picture of it.
Yeah.
And he's just like distraught.
Yeah, dude. I used to tease him all the time because he'd go to like an actual salon and pay a bunch of money for a haircut. Like haircuts were his thing, man. He liked a good looking haircut. So I could only imagine what he was feeling.
I think we ended up getting a call like halfway through, and he had to throw a baseball cap on to go do the call, and then he came back and we got it finished. But like he was like such a nervous wreck for the whole thing that we're just laughing because like his anxiety level over his bad appearance. Oh man, it was so funny. I think he ended up getting like it didn't look bad by the end of it. And but he got a haircut like the very next day from somebody.
Dude, talking about his temper, man. Segueing into that. We'd be out working and crepe myrtles, like people trim the tops off of crepe myrtles, little decorative trees,
Yep.
And he hated them. But I'd be up in the tree cutting and I'd just be dropping them on the ground and he'd be picking them up, to go take them. And every now and then they'd hit him and he'd get pissed and another one hit him. Before the end of it, he started just throwing tools across the yard because he'd get so mad about these things hitting him. I wasn't doing it on purpose, And then we're at this one lady's house cleaning up leaves or something, and she comes out and she's like, "Oh, don't you just love doing this kind of work? It just builds character." Justin, you can just see him over there like
eye twitching.
Yeah, like, building character. As her son rolls up in his Mustang, like playing techno music and walks inside. The teenager. He's like, maybe he needs some character building, like just getting more and more angry. He'd have these glasses on and those work tune headphones that had radios in them,
Oh yeah.
And he'd be sitting there working, and customers would come up to talk to him because they would mistake us, and he would just rev it higher and just stare him in the face, like the hatred in his heart for landscaping, but he wanted to work and he was a good worker.
I ended up working for Hawker for a while, and we were working.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah,
we were doing stuff in Harmony.
Yeah,
I poached Hicks from you for a while, and we were doing those retention ponds. And the first retention pond we do, like he just gets lit up.
Yellow jackets
with yellow jackets.
Yes.
I just see him like running.
Dude, it never failed. When we were working together, I would hit the nest and walk on by, and then they would attack him. It was just never ending.
Dude, he was like running up that hill, like getting out of there, and he's like taking off all his clothes, trying to get the yellow jackets off, and you could just tell, like, he's like holding in the anger.
Yes, yeah.
So we go and we were doing about like 2 a day, I think. So we go to the next one. I was like, dude, that sucks and everything. I was like, I guess it's like my time and everything. And then he hits the second one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I hate them things.
We did probably like 6 or 8 that entire summer. And those were the only 2.
Yeah.
And he got both of them.
Yep.
And he's like, you just see it. And like,
he's
like, you didn't get hit by it.
Yeah. It happened every time with us, too.
Sorry, bro.
They liked him. They had that sweet blood, I guess.
Yeah. That Tennessee blood.
Yeah. So, Alex Stice, you remember him?
Yeah.
His buddy? He's a volunteer.
Yeah, I ran into him the other day.
So me and him actually went and got tattoos, like our own separate tattoo in memory of Justin. And Stice got me hooked up with Paragon Tattoo in Cartersville. A guy's named Steve that owns the shop. And if anyone's looking to get a tattoo, he does good work for a good price, really. And he started this thing. He was trying to explain it to me where, like, he started a tattoo religion where, like, essentially what he was getting at is tattoos are therapy, proven.
Expensive therapy, but
proven expensive. Well, I mean, going to a therapist is
that's true.
Probably not much more different, I mean, I don't really know, but I'd imagine it's expensive. And anyway, like if you're a first responder and you've gone through some sort of traumatic event, like you would qualify for that. He does a tattoo for like $100.
Wow.
For that purpose.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool that he does it. And
I've been meaning to get a forearm tattoo for the longest time.
Yeah. I actually ended up getting 2, in memory of.
Nice.
Because there was 2 that I liked. But Alex, what reminded me of that is Alex Stice got the volunteer like symbol. I guess the guy holding the rifle or whatever, for Justin.
Oh, the Tennessee Volunteer.
Yeah, the volunteer.
College.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he did some cool design with it, but that was a pretty cool thing to do. And having Paragon tattoo, being willing to help first responders is always
That's cool. I didn't know that they did that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So if anyone out there likes tattoos,
might actually have to go get mine now.
Yeah.
But just keep putting it off.
It's expensive, dude.
It is.
It's expensive. He really is a good price. He really is for the work that he does. So, but he's booked, like 6 months out or some crap.
They always are.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, man.
Any other good stories you can think of?
Oh man, I mean, just the fishing and we love to. Oh, I got a good one. We would go frisbee golfing all the time, and he never beat me. Never once beat me. And there was a time that he almost won at Sequoia Park. It was the last time we played together, and like it was the very end. He just botched the last one.
Oh,
I know. But
almost had it.
I know, but we enjoyed it. We would go after work all the time. We'd go after shift. And then just going up to his place at Lake Arrowhead and fishing, man. Those are memories I'll never forget. And now that my son, Austin, he's turning 4 this month. I took him fishing. We're staying at a place called the R Ranch in Dahlonega in a camper while we're finishing our house, and they got lakes up there. It's a private RV community thing. And I took Austin fishing a couple times, and he's caught a bass and some brim, and dude, he's hooked. Like, pun intended. Like, he watches fishing shows. He talks about fishing every day. So like, I'm looking at getting maybe a little John boat or something. They have a nice pond up there or a reservoir up there in Dahlonega. Start taking Austin out. And every time I go fishing or just thinking about me going fishing with Austin makes me think of Justin, because that was him and his dad's thing. Like, they love to fish together.
Yeah.
There's so many stories they have, and me and Justin enjoyed fishing together. He was a good fisherman, a good angler, if you will.
Yeah, while me and him were in medic school,
mm-hmm.
he was always talking about fishing, and he goes, man, when we finally get free time.
Yeah, man.
He goes, we're going to go fishing, and I was like, I want to learn how to fly fish. He goes, oh, I know how to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I'll teach you.
Yeah.
We'll do all this stuff. And it was one of those things that like never got fulfilled. And after medic school, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna continue on with it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try it out. And sadly enough, I haven't done it as much as I wanted. But
of course,
dude, I got a fly pole.
Yeah,
I got some.
I've never gone fly fishing. I'd like to learn.
It's freaking hard.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
And I'm like, I watch like a ton of YouTube videos.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, he did this, he did that. I'm like, all right, I'll try that the next time.
It's all in the wrist.
And then, dude, the tying of the knots.
Yeah.
Like, I was never really good at that.
Yeah.
And then it's like micro knots too. And I just get frustrated at that.
Like building the little flies, you mean, or just tying them on there?
Just tying the knot or the fly onto the line. I finally get it, and I like test it. I'm like, oh, it didn't come loose.
Yep.
And then like first cast gets snagged in a tree. I'm like,
yeah. Yep. Speaking of that, man, like, how does this? I know you're the host, but I'm asking a question now. Like,
yeah, go for it.
How has this changed what you were just saying about? Yeah, we'll get to it.
So the podcast in itself is like it's kind of like a nod. The name is kind of a nod to him too.
Yeah.
2-3 and 23 was the last station he was at, and it was the station that we were together at. So it's like it has a special place in my heart. But also through doing this, just in the short time that I've done it, like I've already started talking to more people than I have in a long time.
Yeah.
Reconnecting with old friends. I mean, Kevin Bates and Brooke Ice being the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in recruit school together. We've done a couple things, but it's like you grow up and you grow your own separate ways. But it was a cool experience just to like sit down and actually like reconnect with somebody.
Yeah.
So
yeah, this is a cool thing, man. It's a good thing.
I'm enjoying it so far, and it's like there's been more that's like happened like off the mic too.
Sure. I'm sure.
But I've reconnected with a guy that I went to EMT school with,
Mm-hmm.
and then a guy that I worked with, Bates and I both worked at Lowe's together with.
Oh,
and
okay.
He said he
I didn't
works
know
for the
y'all did that.
cab. He worked before I got there, and then he left to go to the Marines.
Yeah.
So yeah, me and this other guy, like we were on that path of like trying to get hired on by fire departments, and he ended up going to DeKalb, and he said he'd come on later, and I'm like, hey, yeah, like that's awesome. So it's just with COVID and Blue Ridge, like we sold our house in Woodstock and we moved up to Blue Ridge. It was just this compounding like thing of like seclusion.
Yeah.
And like everybody felt COVID.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For sure.
I'd say like the firefighters and like the essential workers didn't feel it as much because it's like, hey, you still got to go do your normal routine.
Sure. Yeah.
But everything else from it changed. And
what a wild ride.
Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah. But it's like everybody grew apart.
Yeah.
And we've become so distanced in so many ways now. And
yeah.
I mean, you end up like, just take like next time you go to the station, like you're talking or just talking to another person. How often do they actually have like their phone out and they're texting, multitasking at the same time?
Sure. Yeah.
So it's like for this, it's like, hey, we get like an hour of like, you and me just reconnecting and like we're bonding over Justin's stories.
Sure.
And it's been helpful to me just to like reconnect with people and just talk.
Yeah, man.
Because there's other topics that like I would like to talk about that are still pretty heavy, and it's like these things need to be talked about, especially like in our field.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's like for Justin, it's like we all expect like a line of duty death. Like, well, not expect it, but like it's
always back there.
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
Never did we expect what actually did happen.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's the loss and the bad calls and the mental health of it all of being able to like talk these things out is kind of like what I'm going for.
Yeah, man. It's a good thing.
It's got me like kind of shaking, like talking about it.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I'm like actually like passionate about it, and like it makes me nervous, and I'm just like,
sure. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like
internally shaking.
Yeah. I that's the way I started today. Coming up here.
Yeah.
But, you get talking and it's better. But yeah, I mean, I feel like ever since the whole Justin thing, like when I tell somebody something or like, hey, yeah, we'll get together, like I try to be more meaningful about it. Like,
right.
Like, yeah, we're either going to really make this happen or it's like, just being truthful, like, well, I'd like to, but I don't know if I can, but like, I don't know.
But it's almost like it's we'll get together sometime, and it's just a way of like politely ending the conversation.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I'm just trying to be more meaningful. Like, yeah, I'd like to, but I don't think I can. Or yes, let's make it happen. What's your schedule look like? You know? And like the people that are close to me, like I've lost close people. Like I lost my father, my grandfather, the guy that kind of stepped into my dad's shoes when I was still a impressionable teenager. He just passed not too long ago, and then like one of my best friends ever. Like I've lost some really close figures in my life, and like each step, like I feel like I've gotten more emotional. Like I just cry for no reasons now, but like it's because I truly love like the people I care for. Like that love for humanity in a sense, but it's more than that. It's like the people that I care about or know, like I truly love them, and it's like it's a passion that you want to be a good person, and you want to have these relationships with people you care about, and then just life is busy, dude.
It is.
It's busy. So
C-130.
Yeah, it's a big plane.
Yeah.
We got a flight path for the Ranger School up at our house too. Hear helicopters all the time.
Oh, yeah. When we were in Blue Ridge, it's like you just see Ospreys and Blackhawks. And you're like, it'd be like right before shift night. I'm like, I got a test in the morning.
Yeah, no joke.
Duramax, I'm like, shut up. But yeah, I get it. It's like the just kind of lost my train of thought on it all. But just the whole reconnecting with people and like purposeful conversation.
Yeah, man. Just spending time together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's good stuff.
Sometimes it's nobody really wants to talk about Justin, and it's like sometimes it's like you want to talk about it, but like you don't want to.
Yeah,
it's almost kind of like a Debbie Downer kind of thing. Like,
See, I'm the exact opposite. Like I love to bring up anytime I can, I'll bring up, or if I think of something that relates to Justin, I'll bring it up. But you can tell it's usually awkward for the other people.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
But I'm very outspoken, so I say it anyway. I thrive on the awkwardness, I guess. But it helps me. I don't know. I hope I'm not damaging other people by bringing it up, but I just think it's just awkward, for people because it's a touchy subject.
Yeah, I mean it is. But I mean you got the band on too, and like we both do, and the memorial bracelets.
Great idea, by the way. I'm glad you had these made.
Thank you.
I haven't taken mine off really since it happened.
Nice.
To take a shower, that's about it.
Yeah, it's like you have like a bad day or like something's going bad, and it's like it's not the most comfortable bracelet.
Yeah.
It's like, but I think I like the fact that it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So it's like, you move your wrist and you feel it, and you're like, the day.
Yeah, like the bunk rooms in the station at 21, it's drywall, and like putting my bed sheets on at night, this thing catches the drywall, and there's like a indention in the drywall now for me making my bed every night up there, Yeah. But like,
I mean, it's a nice reminder of like, hey,
it's a piece of Justin with me.
But for me, it's also like it's not as bad as it can be. Like you're having a bad day, and it's like, oh,
yeah, I can appreciate that.
Yeah. It's actually not too bad.
No, you're right. You're right.
It's a good reminder to stay positive, and
yeah, you and Kevin talked about on y'all's podcast about like carrying more.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm the same way. When y'all were talking about it, I was like,
exactly the same thing.
Yeah, I used to just keep it in my truck. And
same thing.
Now it's just always on me.
It's a very conscious like, oh, I'm just gonna run it. No, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Like I was trying to go into Kroger this morning, and I was parked like right next to this lady, and she was looking at me, and like how you
gotta
like
like trying to sneak it in your pants. Yeah.
You gotta like get your hip up so that way you can slide it in. And I'm just, what are you looking at?
Yeah, exactly.
Not trying to like flash my piece.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to beat that dead horse, but I feel like it's more responsible, in my opinion, to have it on me because I know it's on me. It's not laying somewhere where I'm like, oh, crap, where'd I lay that thing last?
Yeah.
And I got little kids now, so it's like you don't want them getting a hold of it. So for me, I feel like it's more responsible to keep it on me to protect the ones I love and other people, and I always know where it is.
You know that last gas station on the left before you got to the house? Like before you pulled it?
Mm.
So the in the news, I think it was probably like a month ago now, some dude tried to rob the place.
Oh, wow.
And was stopped by
all the way up here.
2 armed civilians.
Yeah, nice.
And then
America.
There's a third guy in the parking lot, and he ended up like, I think he was waiting on a friend or something. Like, what the hell is taking so long?
Yeah.
And he ends up going out, and then he's like, so this one guy like thought he could rob a gas station.
Nope.
Ends up getting stopped by 3 armed civilians.
Man.
Like,
it's great stuff.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was great stuff. I wish more people would do it.
Well, I mean, Georgia's now constitutional carry as well, so like you don't even have to get the permit now, which is awesome.
Yeah. My wife finally got it. She's like, all my friends said I don't need it anymore. I said, just get it anyway.
It makes
but she finally got
different or like new firearms or just the background checks of it all. Like it makes things easier.
Way quicker. Yeah, I've been on her for getting her concealed weapon permit for like 10 years now, and she finally got it. So good job, Tori.
Yeah, I need to get Des on that.
Yeah.
Now that we've settled into like the final address for hopefully like the next 10, 15 years.
Yeah, no joke.
Yeah. And I finally got her to start carrying. We got her a little fanny pack thing. And
is it appropriate to talk about your house? It's beautiful.
Well, thank you. I mean, yours is almost done too. You finally got that CO.
Yeah,
it's an amazing feeling.
How long did it take y'all to build this?
I want to say we started the last day of February.
Okay.
Last year or the first day of March.
Mm-hmm.
But then we were in by, I want to say October.
That's quick. Probably didn't feel quick, but that's quick.
Agonizingly slow.
Yeah. Yeah, ours is exactly a year, like literally the weekend. Like the this upcoming weekend, a year ago is when we moved out, and we'll be moving in this weekend.
Did you have any snags or hiccups on like certain
absolutely
materials?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Like we have friends that we get eggs from, and their house is like done except for windows.
Yeah. No,
and they've been waiting like
yeah.
windows for a year, and like ours just flew right up, no problems whatsoever.
It might be just the type of window. Like I told you, we found the lowest bidder, and it shows. The windows aren't the best, but we got them pretty quick. So I guess it's
the only problem I have with these two is ladybugs or lady beetles.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like coming in, or
yeah, coming in.
Oh, interesting.
I wonder if it's just because this is exposed.
Yeah.
Versus upstairs, or if it's just because it's closer to the ground.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
we timed ours pretty good. Like lumber came down quite a bit whenever we finally bought the lumber package. Like we waited as long as we could. The biggest hiccup on material was like concrete for us. We took 3 months.
I remember you talk about that.
Like we had to wait for 2 months, and then it took them a month because we're also on a hill like you, and it rained like all summer, so they couldn't get up the stinking hill. Eventually, we got it up there 3 months later. But, yeah, like you said, just got the CO, hopefully moving in this week. And Tori cried because we've been living in a camper with little ones, and excited for that next chapter.
Moment, like finally coming in.
And,
like something that, I mean, you had more experience, or not experience, but like more time in building yours.
Yeah.
Like you were the general contractor on yours.
Yeah, I was the builder.
So you actually got to like,
yeah, it was fun, dude. Yeah. I'd do it again. Like it was stressful. Like people say, like if you can build a house married and stay married, like that's a good sign of a marriage right there. Like
all right.
there was a time, there towards about the middle of it, when we were trying to line up material and make decisions right then and there. Like it got pretty hairy there for a minute, but
yeah, it is a stressful.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not like just buying a house. It's like you're waiting on doing the whole thing and going through the process. And
I'd do it again. I would just live in a house while building one. I wouldn't sell a house and figure out and be a nomad while we're building. So it was a challenge, but it was cool. It was a learning experience.
The money of it all. It's just trying to afford both at the same time.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was it. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's cool, man.
I mean, we both went on pretty similar journeys during that time frame.
Up in the mountains now.
Yeah.
Mountain men.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're in Dahlonega?
Dahlonega.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Tori went to school up there in Dahlonega, and it's always been kind of something that we wanted to move up to. Like,
how long is your commute?
From 21, it's just under an hour, like 50 something minutes.
Yeah, that's right about mine is.
I was about to ask how far it took you to get down to 23. Luckily,
you're
right on this corridor here on 515, where I've got to cut over, no major interstate or highway really, but it's a nice drive. It's pretty.
I got real sick of the Blue Ridge Drive.
Oh, I'm sure.
515 wasn't bad at all, but it was like turning on to 52 and then Big Creek to Doublehead.
And your parents are up there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
how far is it from here?
40 minutes.
From here?
Mm-hmm. But they're 30 minutes from anything.
Yeah.
They're just like so far in the cut.
Yeah.
That, they're backed up to national forests. Like there's nothing around.
Yeah.
It's 30 minutes to Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and LJ.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you been to like Amicalola Falls?
Oh yeah.
I'm only like 10 minutes from there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then there's that new like Iron Mountain off-road park.
So have you taken Austin to the pond at the bottom of the falls?
Yeah. We haven't hiked all the way up the stairs yet, but we can drive to the top and look at it.
The stairs are.
I'd like to do the stairs. I'd like to do them.
And then go to, I think it's
Toccoa?
Tallulah Gorge.
Tallulah Gorge, that's what it is. Yeah, man. I've heard that's a doozy.
And
I'd like to do that one too.
Des and I went out to Colorado and we did Manitou Incline.
Okay.
And it's like just like a mile straight uphill. And I told her, I was like, same thing with like Tallulah Gorge. It's like, you take your time. I was like, if I stop for you, I was like, I'm gonna feel it.
Yes.
I just have to keep going.
Yeah.
I was like, I will wait for you at the top. And Tallulah, I did one in one go.
Nice.
You just embrace the suck and you just truck on and
embrace the suck.
Manitou, I had to stop twice. It was the elevation that got me.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I've climbed one mountain in Colorado. It's called Crystal Light Mountain. I was a part of this thing called Young Life in high school.
Okay.
And it's kind of like somewhat like a religious organization, but we went out to a camp out there and it was 13,000 feet. and it was hot at the bottom and snowing up top. I don't remember what part of Colorado it was in. I was 17 or 18. I don't remember where it was, but it was cool. I really enjoyed it.
Nice.
So, a bunch of mountain biking and hiking from here to my house. We're only about 40 minutes from each other, so there's a bunch in between.
Any big plans for the family, like vacation or adventuring?
I got a third on the way.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. It's going to be here early September. So we're trying to figure out if we're going to squeeze in. We like doing like a beach vacation, because the kids are little and they like the beach. So we're going to try to squeeze a beach vacation in, but I don't know. We'll see. The price of the new house and, all that stuff.
Everything that's possibly looming.
Yes.
Yeah.
But, Tori really wants to take a trip out west, but probably wait till the kids get a little older to where they can enjoy it too and
comprehend it and their diapers. And
I went out like to Grand Canyon when I was like 4. I don't remember. I remember like the buffaloes or something outside of our cabin. That was about it. So might wait a little longer than 4. But yeah, man, not really. What about y'all? Any trips coming up?
Nothing right now. I think we got like a trip in May. Like we're trying to decide on like a mountain Airbnb or
nice.
Go back down to the beach or something.
Where at?
North Carolina for mountains, and then probably back down to Pensacola.
Y'all like ski and stuff too?
No, it would be like during this.
I got
in
you.
May.
Yeah,
so
I got you.
I got her into kayaking.
Oh, nice.
During COVID, so
okay.
We would go down the Nautilus and the Toccoa, and she really enjoyed that. And like we bring the dog with, and she wears her little life jacket, and she swims around. No problem, loves it. So that's kind of our thing. We were going to try and find like a river that we could enjoy. She doesn't care for the rapids too much.
Yeah,
but we can do a little 1s and 2s that are very intermittent. It's fine.
Sure,
like the Toccoa.
Yeah. That's fun stuff. Me and Tori used to do that too until we had kids, and we don't do it anymore. Maybe when they get a little older. They're too little to put on a kayak.
Well, maybe soon enough.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Cool, man.
Our kids love the outdoors too. So.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, man. It was great. Thanks for having me.
All right, man. Thank you. Bye, guys.
See you.
Thank you for listening to this episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please follow us on your favorite podcast app, hit that bell for notifications on new episodes, and please share with a friend. Thank you for all the support so far. I really appreciate it. Have a great day.